Welcome back to what is another edition here of the Brilliantly Dumb Show. We are back. We are ready to rock and roll. Not ideal timing, and I apologize about that there, Michael.
Why?
Joe,
Don't apologize to me. There's nothing to apologize for.
well,
You
I'm just.
fucking shot.
Oh,
Whoa,
but you said
it's
There's
coming
nothing to
in hot.
apologize. There's nothing to apologize for, Bob.
okay. Well,
Nothing
you
to
said
apologize for
apologizing.
whatsoever.
well because he said that he gave out the Penn State game a few days ago, and now we're starting right at the Penn State game.
That's fine.
But I
Business
just threw it
first.
out. That's
Business
right.
first.
That's
Work
right.
first, play later. That's what I always.
I was trying to accommodate Joey D, who was on the Pacific
Yeah,
time.
that's very nice. Very nice.
Joey
By the way,
D
we're
can-
going to be done by the time the game starts. You've already given the pick, Mike.
No, the game starts. The game
So
starts
don't
now.
tell him
but
that.
it's-
Don't tell him that.
Oh, well, I think he's fine. He's sitting. Are you
No,
sitting?
it's
It looks
not.
like he's sitting in like a doctor's office. He's
couple-
got all his
couple-
credentials. It
couple
looks like he's got all his credentials behind him there, Joe. Looks like you have your law degree, your doctorate, everything behind you.
I think it's Cornell University. Yeah,
I
think.
would
Wow.
go with that background every
I'll
time
tell you,
because it makes you look very
that's-
astute.
Well, no,
That's
I'm
an
saying it-
Airbnb if I've ever seen one. That's got Airbnb written all over it. Is that an
I
Airbnb?
got Cornell University. I got a chartered financial analyst and CPA. Yeah, I come extremely lauded, highly lauded.
Yeah.
Think about that guy now. I mean, that guy's killing it, and now he's got a house that he's renting out. Like that guy's
Oh.
really doing things.
Bob,
And
right.
he
you would
leaves.
hate
It's amazing he
This
leaves
to
that on the wall. though.
41st floor, Bob. You would, if you go on the balcony, Bob, your fear of heights,
I
you
wouldn't
would,
go
you
out
would
on that
pass
balcony.
out.
I wouldn't go out on that. I would stay away from that balcony. I don't like that. at all.
41st floor, D.
Do you know my biggest fear? I've told Joe this. My biggest fear is a hot air balloon.
Spiders,
No, I'll take a spider any day.
No,
over
you
hate
fucking
snakes.
A hot air balloon, dude.
hot air balloon, or snakes. What's worse?
A hot air balloon for sure.
Snakes
I
in
mean,
a hot
but-
air balloon.
Good thing about a hot air balloon is like the thing is like you may run into a snake per chance. Like that could happen. Like you're on the golf course, you could run into a snake. That's very likely. You're never gonna just magically go onto a hot air balloon by
Yeah.
accident.
Do you
Yeah.
know that I once considered like doing a proposal on a hot air balloon?
I think that's one of the most ridiculous.
I think that's as on brand as it would have.
yeah.
I can so see him in a fucking.
I feel like that'd be one of the most
this guy hit
romantic
me up.
things
He
you
runs
could ever
a hot
do.
air balloon company.
He's a big
Set me
fan
up
of the
real
show.
nice. Big
Yeah.
fan of the show.
I think it would be extremely romantic if I'm being
That's
honest.
like-
You're soaring into the sunset on a hot air balloon.
It
you have a
very
little
well
picnic.
may be, but I get the fear like Bob has. Like, what if what if like an eagle accidentally like flies into that thing with his big fucking talons and he just fucking pops it?
Well, he doesn't see it. He's gonna fly into it.
I don't know. But I
thing's
mean, there's got to be
massive.
blind birds out there.
I
Gotta be a blind bird out
You
there.
just
I
have
feel like if
no
a bird was
support.
blind, it wouldn't survive.
What kind of water's that, Bob?
Oh,
It's,
this guy, the Saratoga Springs.
They sent over a nice.
Ah,
They sent over a
dude,
nice
come on,
package.
man.
What?
Ah.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing, man. Nothing.
What? It's a good
He's
water.
drinking
They-
Poland Spring.
I did
Yeah,
video
yeah.
on it. They sent it, but just one of the better waters in the game, if not the best water in the game.
Does it? Does it?
Not
does
compared
it,
to Saratoga. Is that
No.
glass? Is that a glass
Yeah,
bottle?
It's a glass.
yes, yeah.
It's
It's
like
really
an
good.
ivory purple bottle too. Yeah.
To be honest,
Wielded-
Nice collar. Nice collar.
It's like a Jersey Mike sub in the sense of there's not enough water in there. You don't get fulfilled. I have to get a second bottle. You know what I mean? Same way I got to get a second sub.
I got to be honest. I had a Jersey Mike sub yesterday. The
Talk to me
regular.
about that.
The regular size, but I did double meat. I had the turkey provolone on whole wheat, double meat. I got to tell you, it was the perfect amount. It was the
Yeah.
regular size. It was the perfect amount.
Well,
Whole
it's
wheat's kind
double-
of trash bread, man. It's
double-
like
Yeah, I
healthy.
I didn't
It's
want to eat
healthy.
the regular bread. I don't like the regular bread. I prefer
No.
the whole wheat, honestly.
Do you really?
Yeah,
more
yeah. I don't
flavor?
like the white bread, dude.
The rosemary's good. To me, wheat
They
tastes.
didn't have the rosemary option. It was
Oh, really?
gluten-free, regular,
Rosemary's
or
good,
wheat.
too.
That was it.
Well, I will say though, Mikey, the double meat changes a lot. I think if you got a regular sub, I don't think it would fulfill your.
No, I have to get
appetite.
the double. But I gotta
Yeah.
say, it was like the giant is obnoxious, bro. The giant.
Of course.
It's like a party sub.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's too
Dude,
much.
there's a guy, I'm not going to call him out, but there's a guy, and not the guy you're going to think of, Mikey. There's a guy who runs a deli on TikTok and Instagram. Not the guy you're thinking of.
No,
And this guy makes all these.
Is this the Aki
sandwiches.
way?
No, I'm not calling this guy out because I like him a lot and I love his page. But all the sandwiches he makes look terrible. And he raves about it. He's like, "Hey, I'm not going to get into
terrible,
it.
terrible in the sense that like there's not enough going on, or terrible that it's like too much going on, or the structure doesn't
Good
look right,
question.
too small. What?
Structure
Let's
doesn't
say,
look
Bob,
right.
don't-
It doesn't
Don't
look
judge a book by its
flavorful.
cover, Bob.
I know, but usually you got a pretty good eye for that. And D, by the way, I would bet you judge a whole lot of books by there.
That's preposterous.
I would bet you that the D-man judges every book.
No.
That's
by
a couple
cover.
books by the cover in his day, Bob.
Oh, for sure.
Not
By the
when
way,
it comes to food. I don't
Yeah,
judge
food we don't discriminate, Joseph. We don't discriminate
food.
with.
Listen, I'll actually say some of the best meals I've had have been in the most dingy mom and pop
That's correct. That's a
like
great
you
call.
know, yeah.
That's
Some of
a
those
great call.
places, like especially Chinese restaurants, they could be a dump and they're the best food you're gonna find.
Chinese more so than any
Chinese.
cuisine, I think. You could walk into a
Bob, do you remember the place I used to send you pics from work, the lunches with the chicken cutlet platters with like the fresh mozzarella and the peppers
what's that
all
place
on like a
up
plate?
to? Yeah.
So they sold it.
Oh,
really?
But that's that place that Joe's talking about. It was like 2 stoves in a shithole shit box in the middle of Newark with like 2 old grandmas cooking on the stove, legitimately 2 old Italian ladies, and they finally sold it because the one lady was getting, really old, like she couldn't do it.
I remember
anymore.
Mikey put a story up. He was devastated.
Oh, bro.
Oh, really? I didn't see that.
Yeah, he put up a whole thing.
You know where you go anywhere now for $8, and you get like 3 chicken cutlets, fresh mozzarella, peppers, prosciutto, a piece of bread. Like you could eat like a king for $8. But like Joe said, it was a dingy dump that no one really outside of the area knew about. It was just
That's the best thing too, because you don't have you don't have all these other people flooding the spot, so it becomes like your own personal little spot.
That's
You
true.
know what,
Also,
you know what Jet did to me yesterday? Just fucking stone cold, dude. And he felt really bad, but like I just don't get how you make that mistake. We went to a steakhouse last night. And we always do the 50-50 split, which he gets an entree, I got an entree, we split it, which I do all the time now. So I got a hamburger, he got the steak. So the hamburger comes, I cut the hamburger immediately, right down the pipe, hand him the hamburger. We're 10 minutes into the meal, since the entree's come, and I'm like, he hasn't given me any of the steak yet, and he's cutting, eating the hamburger, cutting, eating. I'm like, this guy's not going to give me any of the
Did you say
steak.
something?
I didn't, because I wanted to talk about it the next day if he didn't pull through with it.
You're so sick, dude.
what the
fuck? So as
Bob's
hungry
mind
as hungry as I was, I kept thinking, like, I know you're hungry, but just like, this is good to talk about if he doesn't do it. He never gave me a single bite. And I was like, Jet, we were supposed to split that. He felt awful.
What kind of steak was it?
I can tell you what it was.
No, he fucked up. And I tried to talk him out of it.
Their normal's Delmonico ribeye is what they always get.
Well, ribeye is the go-to, I would say, always at a steakhouse. But was that what he got? No.
And if not, we go with the strip. This jerk off has no regard for, if you're splitting entrees, both sides get to choose what they want. He wanted the skirt steak at a steakhouse.
That's the worst kind of steak, man. Now
It's
I will
got
say
flavor.
I had a skirt steak last night.
Good for sandwiches. It's good for sandwiches.
It's like a flank steak, right? It's the same thing. It's a tender cut, but it's not like the scrap ends.
Bob, do you know the place we ate before UFC in Newark? That place with the bar we ate with your dad?
Yeah, you raved about that.
That skirt steak is they like the Portuguese restaurants. The Portuguese their skirt steak is just it's unfucking believable how good they make this with the chimichurri. It's
you got to do chimichurri.
But for Jet, that strip steak's not really a steak to be shared.
No,
that's not a sharing steak.
No, it's not.
That's like a butcher steak.
Was there an established conversation before the order that there was going to be a split, or did you assume, Bob?
No, 100% conversation. And then I even tried, I said to the waiter, I said,
I find that hard to believe.
We should ask him to get his point of view just to make sure. I feel like sometimes Jet gets...
Yeah, and by the way, you can call him now because he's so hot with bets right now that he's on top of the world.
I heard he just can't lose.
To be honest, I think he'll understand it. Hey, Yams, quick question.
Yeah, you put him on speaker.
Yeah. He's on there.
He is.
Last night, did you know going into the order that we were splitting our dishes?
Yeah, I did, Bob.
Yeah. Oh, so you're going hand. You're going hand up. You're going full hand up.
My mind, I was thinking about a lot of different things, and then I just started eating, and I looked up, and all the food was gone.
He blacked out.
So it's cracking up. But another question for you: don't you think, like, you saw me trying to talk you off of the skirt steak? Don't you think I should have had some say in what steak came out?
No, because you ordered the burger. I ordered.
Right. Correct, but we were splitting it, so I made sure that you wanted the hamburger before anything.
Oh, but I thought so I think I was in you're right. Now that you say that, I'm thinking back. I must have thought I was just ordering for myself, because I wouldn't have, if you were like, I don't want the skirt steak, I would have been like, okay, let's get something else. I don't know what I.
Do you remember me talking to the waiter, trying to get the waiter to join up with me to talk you out of the skirt steak?
But you always ask the waiter. First of all, if you ask a waiter if something's good, say yes. So that's what happened. You said, "Hey, is the skirt steak good?" And the guy said, "Yeah. If you don't eat it, I will." So
It's
to
true.
me, that's him basically saying, "Order the skirt steak or I'm fired."
Okay, so
yeah, I forgot. That's on me.
okay, so full hand up. And how was that skirt steak?
It was awful.
Okay, all right.
So,
All right.
you lucked out. Now, can we move on to bigger and better things real quick? I like Penn State.
Okay, well, okay, don't tell.
I'm on Penn State.
We're all
I'm a Nittany Lion today.
we're all
Tell the boys I say hello, and I'll be in the cave the rest of the day.
we'll see you in a bit.
Wow, look at
Good
him
for
See you in a
go.
bit.
Good for you, man.
Yeah, and also
Put the
good
hand
for him.
up.
Just full hand up, and that's fine. But I really, like, in the parking lot, I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go grab something to dinner if you want to join me." Like when we were leaving, he felt terrible. It was terrible.
The
I was
fact
so
that
hungry.
the fact that you did have the conversation that you were going to split the meals and he just kept eating is incredible. It's just incredible. I have a lot on my mind. He says it's a busy guy, man.
Yeah,
Busy guy.
not that busy, not
was
busy enough
thinking
to
of-
do that.
Well, he was thinking about Notre Dame is what he was thinking about. That's what he was thinking about.
Yo,
He rolled last night.
Yo, they
Well,
look good, man.
Friday night.
Mikey, he is on a hot streak. I've never seen a guy win so much money in such a short span of time. Now
That's really good.
That's
for him,
kind of
though.
horrifying too, though.
it
Well-
is because you know what I'm doing? I'm just waiting for him to lose that first bet, because once he does, I will fade because I think he's gonna have a collapse of all
Well,
collapses
don't
after
say
this.
that, Bob. You don't.
Yeah, we
want
But
can't
Joe,
root for the young man's
you never-
unraveling.
No, we won't. But you know, we were at the UFC.
Why not just hope that he continues to be hot and just ride his picks?
Yes.
I am. I'm riding.
Good.
But
Mikey, this guy went on to UFC, didn't have a clue who was fighting, picked 5 randoms with 3 massive upsets in a parlay and hit everything.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you could just blindly toss the darts at the board and they're just gonna stick. I mean, it happens. I mean, that's gambling. That's gambling.
we
Good for
missed-
Jet though. If anybody is due a hot streak, man,
Yeah,
like for
he
all
sure
the flack
was.
and the fade Jet shit, I'm glad he's getting his
But
comeuppance. here.
I'll tell you
Good.
right now, he had a bet on a UFC bet where it was the last leg to my parlay, it was the last leg to his. I could have won 2,000, he could have won 7,000.
Oh my
pulling,
God.
I was pulling like crazy for his guy. I really was. I really genuinely wanted his guy to win. We missed you at the UFC, but again, like you said,
Yeah.
and I got such a kick out of it, and it's true. That's such like a guy who doesn't have a family call to make, like to call you 2 days before and just be like,
Dude,
you
it was
want to
the
go to
most-
Tampa?
the most casual text ever. He's like,
Yeah.
Michael, are you busy Saturday? I'm like,
Michael?
no. This was like Wednesday. I'm like, no. He's like, I'm thinking like, oh, he's around here. Like he's around the area. He's
Yeah,
like,
that would make sense.
want to come on down to Tampa for UFC? I was like, yeah, bro, I'm on the next flight. Hold on, Holly. You got the kids, babe. You got it. You got it.
We're at UFC. Okay. Obviously, we saw Judge, everything. That was really cool. Joey D we're getting really into it. We're having a lot of fun. The bets are hitting.
Right.
Everything's going great. It's really into it.
Uh-oh.
Two girls are fighting.
Matter, Joe?
Okay. So Cutsy, you know how loud Cutsy is. All right. So 2 girls are fighting. Cutsy just like something just came.
Wait. Time out. 2 girls are fighting like in the UFC,
In
like a
the
fight.
cage,
Okay,
yeah, in the
okay,
octagon.
Okay.
So Cutsy out of nowhere, dude, and like in his defense, as loud as it was, the arena just kind of went quiet, and Cutsy just goes, "Come on, you fucking bitch!"
No,
And we go,
man.
whoa!
That's not what I said, Bob.
We go.
That's not what you said?
What did you say?
I said, wake up, you dumb bitch. Because
Oh.
listen, she was
Yeah.
a minus.
Not so
minus
sure that's
1,000
much better, Joe.
minus
Worse, that's
1,000
worse.
favorites. minus
Yeah.
1,000 favorite. And she was grabbing the girl's leg. She wasn't even trying to fight Mikey.
So even my dad was like, we're all cheering, and then we hear that, and everybody down the line just goes, whoa, 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 whoa. And then Gutsy turns and he goes, Bob, she's a minus 1,000 favorite. I said, Joe, it has nothing to.
I did put my hand up.
And then he went hand up. He did, but it came out of nowhere, and it was.
I mean, listen, you're watching people beat the shit out of each other. It's a gladiatorial, like, just a carnage. And it's like, God forbid somebody calls someone a bitch in the midst of two people trying to kill one another.
Well, I think the issue would be like if you had called the man a bitch, no one's going to say anything, but that's a derogatory female term. So I think that's going to cause.
Yeah,
but the problem is that
I was way too loud.
When you get caught in like one of those things where it's like Bob said, like if it comes to a lull and it's just bad timing, like that does make it a lot funnier. Like that makes it really funny. Like, but it also makes it extremely awkward.
Would it make you a little bit more understanding to say that I was hitting the clouds at a magnitude of epic proportions at that rate?
But don't blame the clouds.
But Bob, at that point, when I'm in the clouds, dude, it's just like.
But then we have to keep you out of the public eye if you're in the clouds because we can't have that. There was fans.
The liability, Bob.
Will you say after that I was well behaved after that though? I did tone it down.
I'm going to say this: if you compare that story to the Clippers story where he's lipping off, the old guy was lipping him off.
That guy was lipping me off
with his kid or whatever. I think that this is more socially acceptable than what that was. Because that's an attack on a human being, like another fan with his kid.
I was not attacking that guy.
You hear what I'm saying, Bob? Like Joe's yelling at the competitors.
Right.
He's yelling at the competitors.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think the Clippers thing is worse, personally.
But I wasn't yelling at that Clippers fan. I was yelling at
that's been up for a conversation and debate,
yeah.
Joe.
That's all.
You could ask Frankenheimer.
We did ask
Frank. We had him on the show, you know? He's got his version. You have yours. I respect that. I do.
I was swearing in general because the players were screwing up.
But the guy but for the record, the guy was lipping you off.
At the end, he lipped me off.
Yes. Okay.
Here's what I think happened. Frankenheimer even said, I think you weren't going at the guy. You were screaming at the Clipper game, but you were using such profanities that
this guy was offended.
This guy with a young kid turned around.
He wasn't young. He was like in his teens.
Well, but you say teens.
You remember, Bob, originally he was like 23 when Joe first
No, I said he was like 17. He was like 14 years old, something like that.
Joe goes,
kids at 14 years old these days, Bob, have seen things that are atrocities.
But
that's
I'm playing
true,
devil's
Joe. That's
advocate.
true.
The
internet, dog. That's
kids
true.
I haven't met a 14-year-old that's innocent in years.
They're very desensitized, Joe. I agree with that.
I do want to talk about Joe being Santa as well, because there's the thing with him with the little kid as well that we'll get to. But before we even do that, we want to take the time to let you know that the Brilliantly Dumb Show is brought to you by the fine folks over at SeatGeek. If you want to head over to live events, make sure you do your live events the right way. Sports is in full swing. All you got to do, which is pretty cool, Michael, is use code BDShow10. That's BDShow10 for 10% off SeatGeek. New or returning customers, make sure you take a look for that green dot to ensure that you are getting the best possible deal available. SeatGeek, we appreciate you sponsoring the Brilliantly Dumb Show. Just a beautiful, beautiful thing. Moving right along here. Keep going. Go ahead, Michael.
One last thing about the UFC thing is also to cut to, again, why the Clippers thing is worse, I feel like, because at a baseball game, football game, basketball game, professional sport, I feel like UFC, I don't remember seeing a lot of kids when we went to UFC, Bob.
No,
like even younger people, I don't remember.
No.
So I feel like in UFC, it is almost like it's like going to an R-rated movie, and pro sports, the major ones, they're PG-13. You got to have some kind of, you got to realize there's going to be more families at a football game, basketball game, hockey game, baseball game. You go to UFC, that's kind of like, I kind of lean towards, it's an R-rated movie. Kids shouldn't really be there.
Thank you,
It's
Michael.
very violent. It's late at night. I don't know. That's not a place for kids, in my
Yeah, by the
opinion.
way, the fights didn't end till 2 in the morning. Almost.
What did you think was worse? Honestly asking you, what do you think? Like, if you could take one of those back, whether it be
He
calling a
doesn't
girl a
think
bitch,
either. He doesn't think either's
No.
wrong at all.
but no, he doesn't. But he went hand up at the UFC. He
Oh, he did?
did. We all turned to
Did you,
him.
Joe?
Well, he
Yeah,
said they were-
I did
he's-
right away. I
he
did
did.
right
Might have
He
away.
done-
did.
yeah, okay,
He
all right,
knew,
all right,
but
all
he
right.
I
then
think
he then said she's an 11 minus 1100 favorite. But he
I
did.
mean,
He did
come
cool
on.
it. He
She's a
did.
pro athlete. She's a pro athlete, Joe. She has a responsibility.
But to say-
I'm gonna go on the record and
bitch.
I'm gonna say I think it was more out of line for me to call her a dumb bitch than to say grab the
Right.
fucking rebound, you
I
fucking
agree.
idiot.
I agree.
And you know what? And by the way, Frankenheimer just invited me to go to a Clipper game again this time
Oh,
around.
no.
I gotta
While
call.
I go back when I'm going back to
I
LA.
gotta call him. Is that
Oh.
true?
Oh.
He invited me because they're at the new Forum now, Bob. They got the new stadium.
We
And
gotta
it's
call him.
tremendous.
We gotta call. That
We
was
don't
the
need
best
to
of-
call him
No,
again
no,
because
I think we should call him, Michael.
Yeah, why not give him a call?
Oh,
It's
my
a
God,
call-in
man.
show today, ladies and gentlemen. This is a call-in show. This is the Brilliantly Dumb Show. Every week, every Tuesday.
Because it was one of my favorite moments on the show. Because he's like, yeah, like a kid in his young 20s. And then we go Frankenheimer. He's like, there's this kid. He's like,
Kid was like 8. Yeah.
He was not 8 years old. That's and by the way, this guy yelling and swearing at me, he literally did what he was accusing me of.
He was lipping you off.
2 wrongs don't make a right, Michael.
No, they don't.
They never
No,
have, they never will.
They
Quite frankly.
certainly don't.
I don't
Yeah.
think Frankenheimer's going to answer on a Saturday morning.
Yeah.
He's probably at Hillcrest.
probably great course, great track, D-man.
We got to play again. I'm looking forward to going back to LA.
He hit me up when we got Bellinger just to tell me how bad of a trade that is for the Yankees, that they really don't want Bellinger.
He did the same. Oh, yeah, he group texted us, Bob. Remember? That was a group text.
Where was I in the group chat?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Did I respond?
He ripped the trade. No.
Oh,
No, Bob's terrible. to
Yeah.
text.
No, Bob's all right. He
Thank you,
runs
Michael.
hot and cold with the texting, but when he's hot, he's hot.
I
You
feel
gotta
like
give him-
I've been hot lately.
You've
You've been better lately.
better of late.
I think so. I appreciate that.
We got a
I
new
do.
Bob coming in at 2025.
By the way,
you go.
gifts are out. Christmas
Wow.
gifts are out.
Why are you laughing?
Joey D's got something cooking up, dude. Joey D's got
What
something.
are you?
I think Joey D's got a gift cooking up. Good gift cooking up. Michael sent me a really nice gift. I was really touched. He sent me a jersey, Reggie Jackson signed jersey. Now, Mikey, I didn't tell you, I hate Reggie Jackson.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
I really no.
I
He's
didn't know that.
He's just a notorious cocky asshole.
Yeah, but he's Mr. October, Bob.
Mr.
Correct.
October.
And to be honest,
Mr.
with the way I hang the jerseys, like it's
Yeah.
a cool signed pinstripe. Like
Reggie Jackson, Bob.
yeah,
The
it
Yankee
was
great,
a
Bob.
it was a really great gift. But
Mr. October.
he's
Mr.
in like
October.
he's
Bob
in like
hates
A-Rod.
the most. Yeah, I did. I knew you were going to bring. I knew A-Rod was not going to escape this. I knew he was going to catch a stray. A-Rod
You should have
always
given him an
catches
A-Rod
strays,
jersey.
Always.
You should
I
give
should
him
have
an
done
A-Rod
that.
jersey.
I should. Well, I know for a fact he hates A-Rod. I didn't know he also hated Mr. October. Now,
How do
Now
you
he's
hate?
Mr.
How do you hate the
October.
greats?
Next
of your
week he's going to tell me he hates Lou Gehrig.
Reggie Jackson is a notorious prick. Like he is. You're gonna see comments down here that I could tell Reggie Jackson stories. He's a
all people who hate
notorious.
the Yankees. Everyone who hates the
Well,
Yankees
maybe.
is going to do that.
But in all seriousness, it's gonna look so sick on the wall.
Yeah, well-
that it's such a. I already sent it over for it to get framed. Like I'm
You getting
very
a frame
very.
job on yours, Joe? On the
I have to set up an office this year. I got to do it all. But yes, I will set it up. By the way, Mikey got me the Brett Favre the autograph. That's pretty sick.
with
man.
his helmet off running.
Yeah,
in
the
Super Bowl.
running and the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
It's
it's a
just
good
tremendous thing. Now I'm in the process of getting Mikey something, and I think he's gonna like it a lot. I just don't know like the lead time on how long it'll take to get to him, but I do think
I got all the
think-
time in the world, Joe.
I've got it personalized to a way that I think that you will appreciate.
Personalized.
I think so.
All
Yeah,
right,
I think
all right.
so.
Do you think so, Bob?
I approved it. He
Is that
ran
right,
it by
Bob?
the committee. Yeah,
that
I think
right?
it's really
Okay.
good.
It's something that I put some thought into. So I don't know. We'll see.
That's good.
I do
appreciate
wish that we would have had the discussion of the Secret Santa because
next
we
year,
just went
next year's
rogue.
next year's Secret Santa.
No,
100%.
but we
100%
did,
Secret Santa.
but we all just gave each other gifts. I still think it was a good turnout.
But next year, if we do the Secret Santa, us three, then we could really, because then you only got to get one gift. You could really get something real nice,
Yeah. You know what I give Jet for Christmas the last 3 Christmases? I just give him cash because I just
You don't need it this time around, Bob. He's on a heater.
He is, dude. I know the cash that I'm going to give him this year. Usually it's good. It's nothing compared to what he's winning right now.
He just got a new car too, Mikey.
This year, Bob's giving him half a skirt steak. He's gonna get
what a dick move, dude. What a total dick.
Yeah, but skirt steak again. That's not a sharing steak.
I disagreed with him.
Not a sharing steak.
On the call, he said, "Oh, the server, of course, is going to say, yeah, it's great." If I was a server and someone wanted to order a skirt steak, I would try to upsell them to like a higher end steak. I would be like, for what it is, it's a good steak. But if you're looking for something to share, may I recommend the Delmonico ribeye?
This is why you were a lofty icon in the business for so long.
Do you think you were an icon? Would you consider yourself an icon in Beverly Hills at that time, Joey D?
Some people would. I don't know if you can consider yourself an icon. I will say this, that I would keep the bar open later than I should. I would go above and beyond for people. I would try, like the people that I liked, of course. Like when Cuzzy would come in, Bob, I would just roll 100%. Out the red carpet. I'd bring up to the Elvis suite, set up dinner up there,
Not the Elvis suite, Joe.
Oh, the Elvis.
Talk to me about the Elvis suite. I want to
hear the Elvis suite in the Beverly Wilshire. That's just, Bob, that's the one that has the outside. So you go out up on the roof. And they created a glamping tent outside.
That's the suite that I upsold Dan Bilzerian's girlfriend
to
before he got to the hotel on his credit card.
That's a suite that Elvis always stayed at.
Oh, I took an earful. Yeah, I got in a lot of trouble, and I took it on the fucking shin.
By the way,
from who? Bilzerian himself?
Bilzerian, yeah.
Yeah, he chewed, and I had a really.
He seems like he could be a little bit of a dickhead. That guy.
You know what?
He seems kind of disappeared into the night now.
He did.
I think you're right. I think he was, showboating everything, and I think that all came to a halt. And now he's nowhere to be seen. So good riddance.
Well, no, but in his, I wasn't going to go there with it. I was going to say, I wasn't going to take it there.
He's saying some crazy shit though lately.
I don't like what he's saying lately.
Yeah, he's been saying some crazy. I'm not going to.
I haven't heard about him at all.
That's why. Maybe that's why he's been.
I haven't heard about him at all.
I had a lot of stupid comment, and I thought that he would laugh at it, and it escalated it more.
Oh no.
I went up to the room with him to go change rooms after. So I upsold him.
And then you took it back.
Right. I had to switch it back. I just switched the room back. And he
said,
tough. Why?
Because he didn't want to pay for
it. What a cheap fuck, man. This guy's worth hundreds of millions, isn't he?
But
allegedly, Michael.
Allegedly.
All right, well, what's the Elvis suite cost tonight, Bob? Even if we're talking crazy, a couple grand?
No more. No. It was
10 grand?
Like 15.
Oh, 15 grand, Mike.
Bilzerian could afford it, man. This guy's multi.
But I sold it to he had
girlfriend. I get it. It was a principal thing for him, I guess.
When he looked at me and he goes, "Why?" He was like, "Why would you do that? Why would you sell her?" And I said, "Well, I sent the fruit plate up there as well, which he didn't appreciate." And then I had to go
$50,000 fruit plate.
The fruit plate was probably all these exotic fruits. Dragon $100 fruit plate. Yeah. Passion fruit, dragon
kiwis,
fruit. Yeah, star fruit, all the major fruits that you don't see anywhere except in like movies and in Hawaii.
I told the story of when the prince was staying with us and we needed a bottle of wine from the restaurant, so Cutsy came up. The prince.
Oh yeah,
what prince? What prince?
So,
Saudi prince.
The Saudi princes, they would stay with us.
But you just referred to him as
they had Bob as. They had Bob as his butler, and they called him Mickey Mouse. They did. I'm not making this up.
Whoa.
Bob was the butler for the week he was making cash.
Bob was a butler for a Saudi prince?
For a whole month.
He would just be up there just watching them, whatever they needed. And then whenever they asked like a food and beverage thing, he would just call me to take care of it.
Correct.
Bob, how crazy were those guys? They gotta be.
So he had his main butler, and I was just there to help the guy out.
Right.
Scary situations to where there would be his main butler. If
Yeah.
he needed something and if it wasn't coming in time, his main butler would be shaking. It was horrifying.
Oh
It
my
really
God,
was.
bro.
So the key was, and the butler said, you don't go into the living room. Like, you don't go in there. That's where they all
I think
are.
I did.
So you hear them all in there, but we're specifically
did.
told, do not go into that living room. You don't know what's
Dude,
there were
I
Mike,
forgot about this, man.
there were things going on that
I need to hear what was happening in that living room, man. I
There were
need to hear what was
things-
happening.
bro, there were things going on in that limit. And I knew I had to say that for the whole month. And they called me Mickey Mouse because of my voice, and I was always smiling.
Oh my God.
was terrible.
What pieces of
Oh
shit,
no, they were
man.
taking care of Bob left, right, and
Oh,
center.
are
I'm
they?
telling
All
you.
right, all right.
Oh,
I
yeah,
Bob would let you
bro.
call him fucking Minnie Mouse if you're
Oh,
taking
he
care of
would've.
him like that.
Mikey, I would have sucked this guy's dick.
Oh, Jesus
Bro,
Christ.
he was giving me envelopes. There were envelopes
Big
coming
old
in.
bags, Bob.
Oh, I was making money like he was.
All right.
I was
all
good
right.
at it too.
I
But
want to
anyway,
focus back on the living room. I
So-
need to know what happened in that living room.
All right.
I imagine a lot of hard drugs. I would picture they're doing hard drugs,
everything.
cocaine all through the night. I would imagine.
Dude, it was. So
Oh
the
my
butler would
God.
go to me, and then
Hookers.
I would call whoever in the hotel I needed to call to get whatever they needed, whether it be through the restaurant. I would call Joe.
Okay.
In room like whatever it was.
Mhm.
So it's scary. He kept do not go in the living room. You don't really pay that much attention. Don't really look at them. Just
This
let
is
them do
incredible,
it.
by the way. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
you never. I forgot
No,
about this.
this is incredible. Go ahead. Go
They're
ahead.
spending like 50 grand a night to stay at the hotel. So like whatever they need, you had to make happen. They wanted a bottle of wine that the usual restaurant we would go to didn't have. So I had a
Okay.
feeling Joe could get his hands on this wine. So I
Okay.
called down
It was, yeah.
and I said, Joe, could you get these 2 bottles of wine? He said, I got you covered, Bob. No problem. Joe comes up to the room. Okay. I open the drawer. Cutsy barges through. Cutsy.
They were like deer in the headlights. They couldn't believe I was in there.
No, and I tell you what, they must have been a little thrown off by that, Joe.
Bob was so horrified. He's like, "Kutz, what are you doing?"
Dude,
and I was like,
so
"Bob, they
scared.
want a bottle of wine. I'm going to sell him a bottle of wine."
So Cutsy blows by the butler, okay? Blows by him.
Pays him
And
no mind.
No mind. The
He's
butler's
looking.
like
He's
this.
looking for the dudes with the fucking with the garb on. He's
Oh,
looking for
yeah.
the princes.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
looking for the princes.
He
Right to
goes
the princes.
Right into the living room, the room
Love
that they
that.
said not to go.
Yes.
And you hear him go, okay? He interrupts whatever they're doing and goes, all right, gentlemen, would you like the Ferrari of Pinot?
No, that's not what I said. I said, "All right, gentlemen, we got a couple of bottles of wine here for you to look at." And then the one butler guy comes sprinting over to me to like get me out of the room. And Bob's like, "You can't go in there." I was like, "Well, you didn't tell me that."
But you
Oh.
said,
So-
would you like the Ferrari of
Well, no, so what they asked is I had 2 bottles. One was like,
Do you remember
exclusive.
the bottles, Joe?
The one that was really nice was a bottle of Chateau Lafite Rothschild. It was like a 1982.
Yeah.
Marco, it was like a
Yeah.
$40,000 bottle.
Oh
of wine,
yeah. Oh yeah.
So
did
I brought that.
I've never
I had-
had it, but I know of it. Obviously.
And then the
Everybody
other
knows
bottle,
of it.
I don't remember what the other bottle was, but it was like, it was nice. But I remember the one was, so the guy said, "Well, what's the difference?" I'm not going to start going into tannins and stuff. I said,
You're not. Are you a trained sommelier, Joe, or no?
I have a level 1. I have a level 1. So
level 1 sommelier. Okay. Okay. All
I
right.
do. I'm not making that up, Bob. You know that's true.
I 100% believe
Bob,
it.
don't laugh at that.
No,
Don't laugh at that.
Well, the level 2 is where you get certified. That's where you have to be able to like
Okay,
taste
but-
wine and decipher what it is based
Go
on.
ahead, Joe. It's a great
So,
story.
so the
I
guy
would-
asked me, Mikey, he says to me, he goes, "So what's the difference?" At that point, I'm like, I could tell the guy the flavor profiles or what it's not going to make. I got to talk to him in terms of what he understands. I'm like, okay.
Layman's terms.
Yeah. So I said, if you imagine these are 2 vehicles, all right, this vehicle here is like a G-Wagon. This one here is like a Lamborghini. It's the creme de la creme.
I'm in
And
the
Bob is-
hallway. Just
Bob's horrified.
yeah.
He's horrified.
But
Okay.
they appreciated the
They did.
analogy.
I'm
'cause
sure
then
they did.
So they said, "We'll take the G-Wagon." And so
Yeah, they did.
I sold him the cheaper one, which was still like $5,000. And then the guy hooked me up, and I went on my merry way. I opened the bottle for him, and then
What'd you see in that living room, Joe? What was going on in there?
They were watching something on TV. There was a lot of commotion, and as soon as I came in, I don't know what happened.
Dude, that's wild.
Dude, they used to have.
It was all dark too. There was no.
Do you know what
lights
this
on.
reminds me of? Neither of you are going to know this, but I'm hoping some of the viewers and the listeners would comment on it. This is a direct parallel story of this movie called, oh my God, don't do this to me. Not now. St. Elmo's Fire. St. Elmo's Fire, 1980s movie with all the Brat Pack people, Emilio Estevez, Rob Lowe, all those characters. There is a scene in that where the lead actress, who was I can't think of her name because I'm blanking out, but she is in a hotel with like 8 Saudi princes, and they're all in a living room, and they're all like doing hard drugs, and it looks crazy. It's like a big commotion, like big crazy scene. They're staying in a hotel suite, and she calls her friend, and she's like, "You have to get me out of here. I'm up doing cocaine with these Saudi princes for like 3 days. I haven't slept." And like, they're all in the living room with all the garb on. This reminds me so much of that. Like,
it was
from the
a wild
movie
scene,
thing.
man.
I know a couple people will know that reference, and they're gonna be like, "Oh my God, that's
These guys
that
would
story's
call the
nuts."
hotel, Mikey, and it didn't matter who they had or what was going on. They would clear the slate for these guys because they would drop in a week. They would drop the equivalent of what the last 2 months, rates would be for the entire hotel combined.
I can't believe this never came up, man.
I was paying the guys that I knew to pay to keep quiet from the tips, to not let it get out how much they were tipping me.
Sure.
And it ended up getting out how much they told, whatever they added onto the bill. They pretty much told them how much to make sure that I was taken care of. And then my boss found out how much money that I had made that month. It was a whole thing. And I used to tip certain guys that I knew just to keep them quiet and to let me stay up there.
Right.
But then, like, every hour you had to change the hookah, and there were times where it got really stressful. When I would see the butler start to panic, it would make me, because he would be looking at me because I was the one coordinating with the hotel what to bring them up.
Right.
So
Bob was like the middleman.
Yes, yeah, correct. But God, what a fucking
the Mickey Mouse middleman.
They fucking sunned me, dude. They would call me Mickey. It's just terrible.
Yeah, but you know what, Bob? Those envelopes were fat, dog.
Oh, they were great.
Sometimes, listen, in the beginning, you got to eat shit. That's the way it works.
Yeah.
That's the way all jobs work. So that's
sure.
the way we're. I want to see Cutsy's social media profiles in his bio now. I want everything deleted, and I just want level 1 sommelier in every bio. That's it. Joe, I'm not making fun of you. I never knew you were.
No. We don't need it, dude.
Bob
I hate it because then we lose him for the next 5 minutes while he's searching.
I'll just scroll down. I'm good.
Are we ever going to go for the level 2? Maybe at some point.
I have time now. I could do it, but I've lost everything. My knowledge was really good, Mikey. It's like if you speak another language, all of a sudden you don't do it for a long time. Right. You got to pick it up again. It's not.
I bet one of those certificates behind you is a sommelier. Just
take
one of those.
Thanks, Bob.
Serious.
That's so good. That guy, whoever that is,
he's doing well.
He's the level 2.
He's doing well. That's the prince. He's the Saudi prince, actually.
Yeah. I can't believe that story never came up. That may be my favorite story in Brilliantly Dumb Show history.
Literally. Whoa!
Yeah.
I don't know. I forgot about it too.
Fascinates me.
It's a great story. How funny is it for Joe, though, too, to just blow by? If you would have seen the butler,
they actually loved me. That's
quintessential Joe, though, Bob, is it not?
Oh, it's 100%.
They really liked me. They took really good care of me. I mean, I was, we got the job done.
I have a picture of Joe in the suite waiting for them to sign the bill, and he has the thing. All right, let's head on over to our buy or sell. I put this on Twitter recently, so I'll start. Sell, not because I don't like it. I do like it. I think it's the worst bang for your buck food item on every single menu. Had it with Jet last night. By the way, who do you think paid for the bill on the night with Jet?
I mean, you should be picking that tab up. Well, I mean, you should be picking.
I'm very.
You're a good man, but I mean, I know you picked the tab up.
Correct.
There's not.
Bob is good about that stuff, though.
Yeah, he 100% is. 100% is. No question about it.
But you would think Jet might say because
No,
of what took
no,
place.
no,
you know what I mean?
honestly wouldn't.
Yeah.
Honestly wouldn't. I think Jet, when it comes to you, Bob, he's just I think he feels like he's been through the war. I think he feels like he's like an escaped POW, and like now he's finally got so I think he's ready for you to pick up the tabs moving forward indefinitely.
Wow, good for Jet. What about
Yeah, good. That's what I say. Good for
What if
Jet.
the hot streak continues, though, Mike?
Yes. Oh well, that's 100%. We need that. I
need
want
it.
Jet to win, man. The guy loves gambling. Like I want him to win.
Okay,
Yeah,
let me just
it's
rip
in
this.
it's in his bones.
I know I started my buy or sell, but let me just rip this real quick just to let the folks know that the Brilliant Show is also brought to you by Squarespace. If you are starting a business, make sure you head over to the fine folks over at Squarespace. You absolutely cannot go wrong getting it started out. Whether you're starting a business, whether you have a business now, head on over to Squarespace. Go to squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch your business, head to www.squarespace.com/dumb to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Again, that's squarespace.com/dumb. Squarespace makes it easy to create a beautiful website, engage with your audience, and sell anything from products to content to time, all in one place, all on your terms. I am going to go with a sell here. Again, I put it on social media. A lot of people agreed with me. Just bang for your buck. It's great. It's really good. I'm selling the shrimp cocktail in the sense of, I think you have some places. I think you get some.
I love shrimp cocktail, but I
do
get
too.
I get where you're going. Go ahead.
Yeah, like there's so many places. Some places are good about it and they give you enough shrimp cocktail, like big jumbo shrimp. More times than not, it's like 4 shrimp that are small. And then price wise, it's like $22. No, Mikey, 22.
It's it's an expensive appetizer because it's raw fish, so it's going to be expensive. But the fact is like the max you're getting is like, I maybe have seen a couple cocktails where they give you 6, but I think 6 is like the ceiling.
6 is like the most.
Usually 5 is like normal, I think, what you see. But I'll say this, if you go to a place where you know you're getting the big old boys, where they list like the size of the shrimp, like it's a U8 they call it, or a U10.
Yeah, yes,
right, Joe?
U10,
Right.
U10.
So those,
that's a big boy.
If you know you're getting those, then I'm all for ordering it. But I get what you're saying. It's almost like you're just doing it because you want to have a shrimp cocktail. You just want it, but it does nothing for you whatsoever.
None. Is that what we waited for, D?
The Sommelier.
I thought it was gonna
it's my certificate, dude.
Okay, all right.
That's my level 1 right there, dude.
Certified.
All right, we got it.
Beautiful.
All right, put it away.
Pass the court of Master Sommelier. The introduction to the course examination, Court of Master Sommelier. That's the introductory course. That's a level 1.
Okay, level 1 confirmed.
Because otherwise everybody would question it and say he doesn't have it, blah blah blah, as if I would make that up.
What's the U10 you guys were talking about?
Those are special jumbo shrimp.
It's like it has to do with like the ounces per shrimp or something like that.
So how do you know? Can you ask?
It'll have.
I mean, you could, but I wouldn't at like a place that like isn't like at a top end place. I would think like at a Joe's Stone Crab or something like that. Like they'll know.
They can't put that on there unless they are. It's like labeling your beef Wagyu, and it isn't. Like, so if you don't see it, then you're not gonna. They only will see it if it's there, and you know it's like the high, like it's a high end level of shrimp. But Bob, to your point, I would rather have a shrimp cocktail than oysters.
Well, oysters is
I
another
would too,
one,
Joe.
I think oysters are even more preposterous of what you pay for, like the oysters, especially now if you do an oysters Rockefeller, I could see a little bit more value, but like just the straight up shucked oysters.
Oysters have like a big cult behind them. Oyster people are very, very culty.
And caviar.
Yes. It's a community.
And caviar.
I don't know too much about the caviar community, but I do know the oyster community comes out very strong. They defend oysters very much. And God forbid you said you don't like an oyster.
No.
On the shrimp cocktail, though, big key, the cocktail sauce. Heavy horseradish. Very horseradish forward. I want a lot of horseradish.
Well, a lot of places will bring the horseradish on the side, Mikey, so you can add as much as you want.
And by the way, I don't want this to be taken that I don't like shrimp cocktail, because I do.
I
I'm
know.
just
I
saying,
get the take.
bang for you. And Joe, you're right about the oysters too. The only thing I will give oysters is at least it's fun. It's fun in the sense of like, you dress it and people get involved. It could be fun. Still terrible bang for your buck. And I do fear the oyster community as well.
Yeah, they're
You know who
a
loves a good
scary bunch,
oyster?
the oyster
He's
community.
the one and only back nine Chuck loves a good oyster.
That's yeah.
The
champagne and oyster guy.
Oh, champagne.
D, let me
always.
no.
No. He'd always go and be like, Chucky, so like, are you telling me that this isn't good? He'd be like, no. And he'd be like so like emphatic about it. And like, it was Bob always cracked up.
That's spot on. Yeah,
he's gonna love that. By the way, we're gonna get a message like this week. C-cuts.
He's the best. Yeah.
We're taking it. We're taking investors and have a day now. We're at that stage in the drink, and boy, we rang Chucky real quick.
Yeah,
yeah. There's a potential couple friends of the pod's coming on board. Looking at you, Ken Rockington. If you're looking at this, we want him in 2-6. So looking at you, Mr. Rockington. All right, let's head over to Mikey V. Buy or sell.
Yeah, I'm buying this week, Bob. I'm buying it big time. If you have not taken the time to watch the Rodgers documentary on Netflix,
is it good?
Needs to be put at the top of your viewing list. It is so good that there's 3 episodes. I got through the first 2. The second one is like, if you want to just watch him do ayahuasca, and that's that episode. So that's the episode you want to watch. But overall, just like it's incredible to really see his background and like all the shit. Like, listen, there's nobody on the planet who disliked this guy more than I did. No, nobody. I despised him when he played for the Packers, mostly because he just slaughtered the Bears every time he played them. But, I gotta say, like, listening to a story, and then I hopped on the bandwagon of, what he hates his family and this thing. You really gotta watch this and see like how he was brought up, what kind of family he was brought up in, kind of how like weird they were. His brother going on the Bachelor show or whatever fucking show he went on. And when he comes back to the Jets like a week after he tears his Achilles, and the shit he says to his teammates, I'm just not buying like people calling him out to be like this, like no-show leader, not a leader, scumbag. And I tell you, Bob, like, they say you meet a person, you get the best first impression of them in the first 10 minutes. You
took one meeting for Mikey to turn his tide.
Yeah, and I'm going to be
honest. Italian.
But I
shake of the hand, and it was all forgiven.
No. I got to. But Joe, my point is like a guy like him, at his level of celebrity and status, which he could have easily shook my hand it could have been a high buy situation. He talked to me and Bob for at least 20 minutes, half hour.
He took pictures with Bob, you. He seemed amazing.
He was bullshitting for at least a half hour.
It was great. It was the longest 10 minutes of all time.
Judge.
No. We committed to saying hello to Rodgers, like talking, but some guy was just talking his ear off, and we knew we were gonna get in and we were gonna get out. Like we had the plan all there, and then we're just standing there, and like you're in that kind of no man's zone with it. But
that's the perfect place though to meet these guys, because I told Bob the other day, like, it's like a VIP only area, so it's not like they're getting.
He's not going to get mobbed. Yeah,
he's not getting massacred by people. So they have time for you to approach them, and then they're looking at you like, who are these guys who are also in this area? They must be somebody. So they're going to give you the time of day, and then on top of that, if you go up like Bob did to Judge and say, I'm a big fan, like there's not a world where they're going to be a dick to you. They're going to just be like, So that to me is like I think that's one of the most ideal spots to meet these guys.
I agree.
In this UFC.
I agree. It's
like
a comfortable. It's
area.
It's got to be a more comfortable setting for them, like a safer feeling setting for them. But to the point of the doc again, like I just think it gives a background and a perspective that you haven't had with him yet, unless you've seen this. So it's only 3 episodes, an hour each. I think it's terrific. The second episode alone just is so wildly entertaining to watch him go on this fucking ayahuasca fucking thing in Costa Rica. It's unreal. It's unreal. You have to watch it. It is a must watch on Netflix. It's called Aaron Rodgers Enigma, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, it looks good.
Mikey actually said that Aaron Rodgers he thinks is a genius. He texted me and
Oh
said,
my God, bro.
"You really think so?"
Really?
Dude, wait. You got to watch the documentary, but like he rattles off. He used to play like this dice game when he was a kid, like to keep like it was like a baseball stat dice game. This guy knows percentages, division, square roots. Like he's brilliant. This guy is like, he makes me, I'm watching, I texted Bob, I'm like, I'm not a stupid guy. I feel stupid listening to him talk, like, because he's so fucking
Just built
astronomically
different, man.
brilliant.
He's built different.
He's different, bro. He's a
Yeah,
different
I
caliber of smart. He's
I will
very, very smart.
definitely give that a watch. Also, Mikey, we kept saying, seeing you come up to would have been you coming up to Judge in that back
would've been
room.
amazing.
Yeah,
it
would have been a good pick. Would have been a
it-
good pick.
He would
You
have
would've
definitely
morphed
gone. He would have called with the tall joke. It would have been
Yeah.
a guaranteed can't miss tall joke, and then off to the races. And he knows it's gonna hit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Perez, if he wants to get somebody to laugh, he'll
Use
make
a
a
fat
fat
joke.
joke about himself, and he has a 99.9. He doesn't miss. All right, Joey D, buy or sell.
I'm gonna sell something. I'm gonna take some slack for this, but I gotta be honest. I think it's ridiculous in this day and age that they're still doing this. These airlines now, I went on a plane the other day that must have been from like the 90s. I'm not even joking. It was, now we were flying. I have to preface this. I don't want to state this because people are gonna be like, "Oh, you're saying you flew first class," but it is part of the problem. Is that when you're flying first class and you're paying the astronomical prices that it costs to fly home for the holidays, I'm expecting a certain level of like, you know, the plane to be half decent. Mikey, this plane was so old, it still had the old TV with the strip where you take your credit card and you swipe down the credit card to order a movie. The thing was absolutely, it was like I couldn't believe that they were still flying. Bob, remember the flight when we
Was
flew
there an
to
ashtray?
Scotland?
That's when you know you're on an old plane. When you got the ashtray.
I don't remember if there was an ashtray,
Bill.
but Bob, remember the
That's
flight
when
when
you
we
know
went
you're
to
on an old
Scotland? How old and shitty that plane was. This thing might have been worse. It was horrific, and it was horrifying flying in this thing, to make me think to the point like, you know, these airlines are making so much money. You don't think that they could just discontinue one of these old planes? Like, I don't understand.
I
it.
think the airline industry in general is the biggest.
They're ripping us
it's
off,
the biggest
Mikey.
rip off. I think that these people get away with murder.
You wouldn't do that in any other
I think
industry.
they get away with
it would
everything.
Be like,
I really
it'd be
do.
like paying for a room in a hotel over the holidays, and then the room is outdated as hell. You would never get away with that.
I get catching like a lemon every once in a while, but I just think in general, airlines,
They're
I don't
getting
give
away
a fuck
with
about
bloody
the plane.
murder, man.
Did you see the thing like that there was this thing,
and I was delayed 4 hours, by the way, too.
I don't know if it was Spirit or what airline just got like called in like a congressional
Spirit
hearing.
went out of business.
One of the airlines was on a congressional hearing, and like this guy was drilling these airline CEOs.
Yeah.
Drilling them.
It was Spirit, I think.
He's like, you tell me that an employee that could get a person to have to check their bag gets a $10 stipend every single time they do it. So the employee gets paid by the airline $10 every single time they can
inconvenience
get a carry-on bag to a check bag.
That was bad.
How fucking insane is that, bro?
I'm telling you, dude,
these
and
airlines are getting away with murder, Bob.
Oh, I'm telling you, man, that
the
the prices of flight now. I know fuel prices are increasing.
Oh,
I'm not oblivious to that, but I'm just saying that it's just like any other industry that you're in. If you paid the amount that you're paying, and you got, now the service was great, like the stewardess, the flight attendants were lovely, but the plane was just trash. It was like the first plane we flew on was like a newer plane. It was really nice, and then the second one, which was the longer flight, was just awful. And I was just like, I don't know how they can still do this with the amount of money they're making to like upgrade their fleet.
Dude, my boss was trying to book a trip with his family of 4 to Florida in March over spring break. So I was like, well, spring break. He told me the price for coach.
It's
4 people, $5,000 round trip from New York to Florida. $5,000 spring break week. $5,000, bro.
I'm telling you, man, they're getting away with bloody murder.
No, Joe, what are you selling? You're selling old planes?
I'm just selling the airlines in general in the inability for them to figure it out and like and pay for what they're charging. I think we're getting ripped off. The old plane is just one factor. By the way, Mikey, the flight was delayed 4 hours.
I mean,
sat in-
I said it's got to, at this point, Bob, what do you think the delay, if you had to put like a percentage that your flight odds that it's going to get delayed,
67%.
I'd say it's a 50-50.
I would say 50-50 now. It's
a coin
crazy.
flip.
And we sat in the plane 2 hours before it took off. We were just sitting there.
You know, the one that gets people the most frustrated, and like, I get it, but at the same time, regardless, people get so frustrated, is when they're waiting for like a pilot, because there's like these airline restrictions where they can only fly certain, so they have to wait for like a crew to come in.
It happened to us, Bob.
Yeah, whenever they say that, people just fucking go off.
The one stewardess was nowhere to be found. She had like slept through her alarm, and we're all just sitting there for an hour and a half waiting for her to show up to work.
I always just let the people I always let the people complain. Like, I'll never be the guy that goes to the desk to complain, because to me, like, what are you gonna do?
Right?
Yeah,
like is your complaint going to be the one that pushes it over the edge?
No, but I like to throw in, like, when everybody's like mumbling up, so I'll be like, I like to throw in, this is ridiculous, just to keep amping up the rest of the
fire up all.
Oh yeah, it adds fuel to the fire, and everybody else loses their minds.
Let's head on into our top 5. This week's top 5 is going to be top 5 sports upsets, the biggest upsets, the top upsets, whatever you want to say in sports history. Joey D took it home last week. I was second. Mikey V third.
Massive win too, right? He blew us out, I think.
Yeah, and you know what? I think we all kind of knew that was coming.
I think we said it at the end that he had the best one.
I'm looking at mine now. Joey D, where would you like to go? This is an interesting one.
I'm gonna go first. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna go first.
I know what he's going first, by the way.
Okay, I would
put a wager on it.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go second.
All right.
So Mikey
Joe.
third.
Second.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to go Miracle on Ice.
Yeah,
Man.
I mean,
U.S. men's Olympic team. I mean, it brought the country together. It was U.S. beating Russia, the Soviet Union. The movie's tremendous. What happened was tremendous. Just truly, an underdog story for all time. I got to go with the U.S. men's Olympic team beating the Soviet Union in 1980 for my first pick.
That's one of my favorite movies of all time. I love.
Yeah, Bob loves that movie.
It's amazing.
Bob loves that movie.
All right, I'm gonna go with Mike. I'm gonna go with Buster Douglas over Mike Tyson.
Yep.
Imagine watching that fight.
I'm gonna go the Red Sox 2004 down 4 games to the Yankees, the comeback.
Wow.
Red Sox in 2004. And then I'm gonna take excuse me. I'm gonna take the Giants' first Super Bowl win over the Patriots, undefeated Patriots.
2008.
Yeah, 2008, the Tyree helmet catch, Giants over Patriots, Super Bowl 2008.
Okay, I am going to go with. So give me the Patriots coming back on the Falcons.
Oh yeah, 28-3, Pats.
Mm-hmm.
But some would say going into the game they were not underdogs. I guess during the game script they became
28-3 though is the
greatest comeback.
Yeah,
greatest comeback for sure. Well,
all right. I'm gonna go here.
You got 2 in a row, Joseph.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Leicester City winning the Premier League.
Yeah, that's a great one.
I mean, just no one in their mind could have ever, foreseen that. And then I'll go with another Patriots. I'll go with the 2001 Patriots beating the greatest show on turf, beating the Rams, and Brady coming in mid-game to win as a rookie. I'll take that as my come around.
I was hoping this one would fall to me. Give me Tiger Woods winning the 2019 Masters.
It's a good one. Very good one.
All right, I'm going to go a little old school now. I'm going to take NC State over Houston 1983. Yeah. That's the Jimmy Valvano team. NC State, Lorenzo Charles, the buzzer beater dunk.
That 30 for 30 is one of my survive in advance.
So good.
So
good. I'm going to take Appalachian State over Michigan in the Big House in 2007.
You must have loved that.
Oh yeah, it was tremendous.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was tremendous. Those are the good old days.
Okay, give me 2018 Nick Foles Eagles over the Patriots.
Okay.
A lot of Patriots involved in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell of a dynasty, D-man.
Sure was.
I'll go Texas Longhorns national title win over USC, team that had not lost a game in 2 years, and Vince Young took them to win the national championship. By the way, might be the greatest game of all time.
Yeah. It's if it's not the best game, it's certainly 1A or 1B.
You know what's funny? Texas was actually really good, but it's an
awesome,
upset.
but USC
It's an
was
upset because USC was that good.
and lost in 2 years. Reggie Bush,
2 years,
Lendale White,
Leinart.
Matt Leinart. Yep, they were tremendous. Brian Cushing, they were a great team. Great
That
team.
was Pete Carroll, no?
Is it me now, D? Or do you have
Yeah,
another
it's you.
one?
No, he's got another one.
Oh, I got another one?
This is your last one, Joe.
Oh, it's my last one. Okay. I'll go with Greece winning the 2004 Euro
That's
Cup.
a good one too. That's a good one too.
I mean, that came out of, nowhere.
That's right. That's right. It did.
I'm gonna go with this is a wild card, but it really was one of the craziest upsets I've ever seen.
Good.
Ronda Rousey was minus 1,300 favorites. So I'm gonna go Holly Holm beating Ronda Rousey.
Or Holly Houston, as some
All
of us
right,
call
well, we stop with that.
Yo, how did we not pick up on that?
All right, now just keep it moving.
Big old Hooters.
Mikey, can you just reference where that's coming from?
So we were talking about UFC in the episode. It was the episode while I was in Chicago, I think. And we were talking UFC for whatever reason, and we brought up the Ronda Rousey fight for whatever reason.
I got the
and
name.
It was like, yeah, Holly Houston. And Holly Houston, if you don't know, is a world famous adult film star. Very large.
It was a very
testicles.
easy mistake.
Yes, no, I mean, but I mean, if you know that name, D-man, it means that you're surfing the web.
Oh, easy ever, yeah.
There's no shame in that.
I'm going to tell you, things pop up from time to time, Mike.
Oh, they pop up. I bet they do pop up. You see a little double mountains from Holly Houston.
That's
little
so
pop
good.
up. No, that's fine.
By the way,
that's
big mistake I made last week. I got buried in the comments, and they were so right.
What?
We mentioned billionaires, and they said Mark Cuban. I'm like, yeah, but he went very political. Meanwhile,
we had the most political people.
Yeah, we had just said Trump, like
Elon
Trump.
Musk.
Yeah,
Elon Musk.
Yeah. Now hand up there.
Bob, you're up.
So are you taking Ronda Rousey?
I took it. I'm
sorry,
done.
Bob
I'm done.
Bob's done. Holly Holmes. And then, it's between these two for me. It's either Fairleigh Dickinson as the 6th.
I had that on my list
Purdue, or do you remember the Fiesta Bowl, Boise State, when they beat
the Hook and Ladder and the Statue of Liberty?
Yeah,
they had no business being on the same
I'm going to go with the Boise State over Oklahoma because I think that game was just everyone remembers that game. I mean, the upset, the Fairleigh Dickinson over Purdue was massive, but Boise State over Oklahoma, that was something else. So I'll stick with that one.
I think I have no chance this week with 2 soccer references. I'm not going to even.
I disagree. I think I don't know. I think yours is a very good overall sports. I think it's
yeah,
good,
but I think our listeners are not very invested in soccer.
There's a lot of soccer guys.
I wish I took the Texas USC one's good. I wish I took that one.
Yeah.
That one's good.
All right, Joe. Miracle on Ice. Leicester City winning the Champions League.
No, Premier League.
Premier League. What did I say?
Which is even, you said Champions League.
Oh, Champions. No. English
Premier League's even crazier because it's a longer season.
Yes. So Leicester City winning the EPL. The first Patriot Super Bowl with Brady when Brady came in for Bledsoe earlier in the year. Texas, USC. That was the 04 or 05 Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
Greece winning the 04 Euros. Bob's got Buster Douglas beating Mike Tyson. Patriot comeback on the Falcons in the Super Bowl 28-3. Tiger Masters 2019. Eagles over the Patriots in the 2017 Super Bowl. I believe that was. Holly Holmes beating Ronda Rousey is like a plus 1,000 dog, whatever she was. I have Red Sox coming back down from 0-3 against the Yankees in 0-4 in the ALCS. Giants, Patriots, the first version when the Patriots were undefeated. NC State 1983 National Championship with Jimmy Valvano. App State over Michigan in 07 in the Big House, and Boise State, Oklahoma over Oklahoma in the Fiesta Bowl in 2007.
You know what's another good one they didn't get mentioned, even though they didn't win it all? George Mason, like over UConn to get to the Final Four was insane.
The Jet. How about your Jets Super Bowl? That Jets Super Bowl was a massive upset over the Colts with Joe Namath. That was a massive upset at the time. The Colts were the bell of the ball.
I had also the Christian Laettner Duke win over UNLV was, I think UNLV had won 45 or 44 games.
It's tough to like call an upset when it's like a blue blood program winning. You know what I mean? Like it's because it's like how big, but that's an iconic.
The other one too was the year that the Warriors beat the Mavericks. The Mavericks were like the #1 seed ever. And I was going to do another hockey one, was the Panthers beating the Bruins. The Bruins were
up 3-1.
#1 best season in NHL history. They had like 65 wins and 135 points. They set the record for both, and then lost in 6 games after being up 3-1.
3-1, yeah. I remember that. Mm-hmm.
Or they lost in 7 games. I think, 3-1 they lost to the Panthers. It was crazy.
Good stuff, man. Good. I already know the title is going to be something about that Joey D story, like the greatest Joey D story of all time.
Got to be the Saudi princes. Just
because
how crazy! I forgot that story. Bob.
It's one of the greatest. Well, because when I was going back and I was looking at Katsuya San and the Four Seasons, I was just in that Four Seasons content, and just some of the greatest shit happened there that people forget, or that I forget that even took place. But that story was one of the funniest things I had ever seen. I couldn't believe that he just blew through that
Mickey Mouse and Cutsy taking care of the Prince Saudi.
I think that's my personal favorite story that I've ever heard.
By the way, there's not a more degrading, demeaning nickname than people calling you Mickey Mouse. Like, that sucks.
But they loved you, Bob. They
did. They really. I know they definitely did. We had a good thing going. But they would just look at me and giggle.
Do you think they would like save your life though if they had to?
No.
Okay, all right. So we want to make
sure. But they liked them, like to the point.
Well, we just said that they loved them. I mean,
they loved them, but they loved them as like a person that they had recently met, not someone. I mean, these guys aren't attached to much.
By the way, I made a great hookah. I really did. I got the hang of it to where yeah, but to see that Butler shaking when he'd be looking at me and he'd be shaking like, where is it? Where is it? Horrifying.
Tell you what, I wish you planted a Ring camera in that living room.
Oh,
I'd love to know what was going on in that.
I'll send you the picture of Joe waiting for them to sign the check.
That I would love to see.
I have the tray with 4 bottles of wine on it.
Yeah. All right.
You still have that?
Yeah. Trust me, even back then, I was thinking content first. I could have got shot in the head if they saw me taking a picture in that room.
Good content.
Good content. All right, that does it. Another edition of the Brilliantly Dumb Show. Great stuff. Merry Christmas from the fellows of the Brilliantly Dumb Show. Great year. Didn't miss one episode all year.
Wow.
Show keeps climbing.
Is this it? Is this the last episode of 2024?
No, not 2024. But until Christmas, we won't see each other.
Oh, no, yeah. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to everybody. I thought maybe this was the last episode of the year. Certainly.
No, one more.
We have one
before.
One
more. Okay, we got one more.
Really good episode. Go Nittany.
Happy holidays, folks.
Happy holidays. We love you.
Merry Christmas, everybody.